the reason I wanted to become an actress is when I saw movies like Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean. Those type of movies made me want to be an actress. I
Okay.
wanted to be part of something cool like that. I stopped gymming because I was like, gym it's in stream time, and I couldn't wait to get back to the PC and see this thing grow.
I think the way you did it is a lot better, I'll say, than the way I did it. I sort of just had nothing and ripped the band-aid and jumped in full time.
I'd like that.
It's
Yes, I think I need to do that. I need to tick that off my wish list.
I will give you fair warning.
Yeah.
About 20 or 30% of the brethren at the land are not known for good hygiene.
I'm just a firm believer of everyone just working on improving themselves and being happy for others. Let's just, we're all gamers. We're all in this together. Let's get the South African, how can I say, community on the map.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Who Is podcast with the pup from PE. It's ParanoidPixi3, your favorite pup from, as I said, Afrikaanse streamer from PE. Welcome to the podcast. It's so wonderful to have you on.
Thank you for having me, Wookie. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dan, it was a bit of a fiasco to get this set up because of random situations on my end. So thank you, firstly, I'll say, for your patience in allowing it to get this far as well.
I know, I completely understand.
And it's so awesome to have you on. I actually found your stream because of Silent Storm, because, he's always in every single lady streamer's channel without fail. He's kind of a consistent presence, let's say, in
Definitely.
all of those kinds of streams. And I think it was relatively early on. I think I don't want to check actually follow age right now. I should have probably checked before I started speaking about it, but it was probably, I don't know, how long have you, let's start off with, how long have you actually been streaming?
I recently just reached 3 years on Twitch, and then over on YouTube about a year now. So it's been a while.
Okay, so
a lot happens in that time.
Yeah, I was going to say about 18 months is where I had a feeling of kind of like from when I discovered your channel. And I got to say, one thing that I really appreciate is like the efforts in the cosplays and stuff. Like you did one when the Game of Thrones game and you had all the feathers and stuff going on with it, and I was like, yeah, that is
one of my more dramatic ones.
Yeah, that is, I love that and sort of stuff. Like another good example is like with Dead Oryx when he plays the police simulator, then he's got his hat on and his little police shirt, and he's like, I dig that when people sort of put effort into the craft.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's any girl's dream to dress up, be able to dress up. I think I've got one of the jobs now where I could literally cosplay every single day of my life. Speel concert, you bet.
Exactly. And we'll get to the kind of intertwining link with that with your previous careers and stuff. But let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up?
So I was born in Johannesburg, and my parents, they actually got some work here in PE. So when I started school in Port Elizabeth. So I've basically been here my entire life. So I think it's safe to say ek is 'n Baienaar.
Okay. And then I always, when people talk about PE, they're like, what about the wind? And then I remember Barry Hilton, and he's like, the wind never stole my TV, which is a big plus about being there compared to being in Johannesburg. Are you a water baby at all? Do you have like an affinity for the sea and stuff?
Not at all. I find water uncomfortable. I find it cold. I am scared of the ocean. I went for one surfing lesson once to try and get over it. It's worse afterwards.
Oh, okay. Scarred for life.
I like lying on the beach, if that even counts. But no, I'm not at all. Not a water baby. Not this one.
And have you ever tried power karting? Because it's like something that would be really good in PE. Like I do it like when I can, but I live in Joburg, so it's not very often.
You're asking someone that's afraid of the ocean of a power kite. No, that's like windsurfing, right?
You can do it on the beach as well. You don't have to get like a 10 or 15 meter. Those are very, very extreme. You're basically flying a parachute, like in other terms.
I have not done that. No, I have not. The craziest thing I've ever done is I've gone skydiving 3 times.
Oh,
And I think I'm done now.
but then you might enjoy it because if you get like a 4 meter power cart, which is it sounds big, but it's pretty
Yeah.
manageable. You'd probably be able to jump about 10 meters, which is quite fun. You just kind of like you pull back on it and fly through the power zone, and then you jump and you yeet with it. It's actually really fun. The
Look,
only problem
yes.
is you got to be
Huh?
careful of going forwards because then you will get dragged face first down the beach, which is a bit
See, this
but
is
less
just the
desirable.
thing. This is just the thing. If you knew me in real life, like, I'm paranoid pixie. I'm paranoid for a reason because I've got the worst luck with anything athletic. I'm so clumsy. Whatever could go wrong will go wrong with me, and I'll end up being a laughing stock because of it. So I try to stay safe. The outside is a scary place.
Okay, so
um,
no
but it
sport
looks
then
cool.
in high
Uh,
school and stuff. No sport.
I used to do netball. I did ballet for a very long time.
Okay,
But now I just at the moment I'm just doing what's it? Gym and CrossFit. That's a
okay,
recent
okay.
addition. Yeah.
How's the toes after the ballet? Did you do the super pointy like jobs?
Yes, I was on point. Yes. So it's I think the only people whose feet really get like messed up are the professional dancers that end up doing it for like what 12 hours a day. And
Mm,
the shoes aren't like in the old days. Like you get literal like it's interesting. You get like silicone molds that go over your toes before you put them in. So
okay,
yes, they do get sore, but you are very protected. So
okay.
no, my toes are fine. I think I stopped in time as well. I didn't really like it.
Okay, no, that's they
Yeah.
look a fair dinkum. Yeah, no, that my stepmom did ballet, and her feet are all kinds of wrecked because that was she's 60 now, so it was like 40 years ago, before all of the technology and stuff
Yeah,
was there
yeah,
to
yeah.
support. So yeah, shame. So okay, so you netball is a bit sporty, it's a bit active. It's
Mm,
people don't realize as well. It is like a semi-contact sport. Especially there's those girls that like to
mm,
leave their elbows out. I've seen some stuff
yeah.
because I went to Edenvale High, East Rand Life on this end of the world. But after school, so you matriculated? We were discussing it earlier. It would have been about 2010, right?
2010. Yes, yes, that's World Cup year.
World Cup, yeah. Okay, damn. That was
Yes,
like,
yes, yes.
and that was the peak of South Africa, by the way. It did the best it ever did in 2010 and 2011, funny enough. But then
Bless.
after you're looking at where we are now, right? After high school, did you go and study at all? Did you want to
So,
study?
I did want to study. I had a few ideas of things that I wanted to do. My first thing that I always wanted to do was be an actress. I actually got like a little award for that in primary school and all of that, but
I was like,
just no, the business doesn't really take off, and obviously it's a gamble when you go into something like that. So the idea was either to go into IT or what do you call it, a graphic design, but I wanted to take a break, like a year's break, and my parents were just like, no, it's not happening. So I thought I'd do like a little hairdressing course. Ended up being a 3-year long thing, and not nearly as easy as I thought it would be. And I ended up being exactly where I was supposed to be. I was good at it. I ended up owning my own salon eventually. But yeah,
gee.
so 3 years of studying hairdressing.
Okay, but we almost had seven the pixie is basically what you're saying. We were this
Pardon?
close to having seven
Yes.
the pixie.
Oh my goodness, imagine.
Which of the sort of like concurrent series or movies and stuff in South Africa, which one would you have loved to have been a part of?
Nothing in South Africa. The reason I wanted to become an actress is when I saw movies like Lord of the Rings and what's it, Pirates of the Caribbean. Those type of movies made me want to be an actress. I
Okay,
wanted to be part of something cool like that. But no, there are some South African movies, etc., that I like, but it's not necessarily where my dream was angled at.
so Bakrat too low of a bar for you, basically.
I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know who's gonna see this.
Do you have friends that were in Bakrat? Is that why you're now shying
No, no,
away from
no.
the question?
The world is a big place, but it's also small. So,
Oh yeah.
like maybe Pune is Quinning or Phuket,
Okay.
but it's all very fun and all of that. But yeah, not the reason I wanted to start it though.
Yeah, I've always been told that Leon Schuster is the only South African that can make a good movie. So I keep asking myself, why doesn't he? But here we
Mm.
are. Anyway, so okay, you own your own salon, owning your own business is a challenging thing. It's one of the the hardest things are kind of you'll ever do. Talk me through the process of getting started with that.
So I worked for somebody before that. Obviously, I think it's very important for anyone who wants to start a business to build up a clientele first and build up some experience. Um, and I just kind of got to the point where I asked myself, is this it? You know what I mean? So I started exercising, and it like scratched the itch for a little bit. And it's all about self-improvement in the end of the day. And I think after 6.5 years of working for that boss, I just decided to take a leap of faith. And I mean, I didn't open my business right off the bat. I took out a small loan and I started renting a chair at a salon. That later they actually offered me half of the place because it was two buildings next to each other. So I ended up starting to hire the place, and after a year, I actually bought over their one as well. So I had quite a substantial bit of space, and it was really awesome. But the challenges that come along with that, I think, working with women, their appearance, their hair, and having women as staff, it was all quite challenging. But I wouldn't ever take it back. Ek sal dit vir niks verruil nie.
So, how long did you keep the business going, and did you sell it off? Did it end naturally? What happened there?
So what happened was, look, I loved my job. I was very busy every single day of the week. I think for the first year, I worked 7 days a week. So I was really blessed in the sense that I'd been given this talent, and I think I would still be doing it. But unfortunately, I discovered something that I enjoyed a bit more. So, and I think you know what that is. I discovered my streaming. So it was always in the back of my mind. I could be going into this full time. So I think what happened is just the same thing that happened when I went and opened my own business. It's just every day was the same. Like I had it for about 6 years. So every year just felt like a repeat for me. You go into work crazy till the end of December, take 5 days off. It was very, very demanding. You'd have clients in your inbox after hours. And so eventually, just when my stream started doing well, I was like, you know what? I'm still young enough. If I want to go back to this, I can. And I ended up, I just went to the salon the one morning and I said to my staff, look, guys, I think I'm gonna sell the place. I'm ready to take on something new. So yeah, just taking a leap of faith.
Okay, so you end up selling the business. When
Yes.
did you get into gaming? When did you actually start with gaming?
When I was very young. When did the PlayStation 2 come out?
I would have been about 11 or 12, so about I want to say 2003, 2004, about that kind of era was when it really landed in South Africa.
So yes, right around that time, I mean, I always played Sims. One of my friends, she didn't like gaming, so she gave me all her Sims 1 packages, so I played that. I think most of us girls start with that. And then my dad actually, he had a friend who gamed, so he bought a PlayStation 2 because he actually still sim races. So my dad was into it. I always used to love watching him, and eventually he actually got with the PlayStation itself, he got I think Red Faction, Gran Turismo, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
So I used to have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to get a chance on the PlayStation. So that's when it happened, and I really enjoyed it so much. And since then, I just never really stopped. We had a communal PC at home as well, and I have 2 brothers. So obviously, me being in school and a student and not earning that much when I worked for someone else, we had to share the PC, but they started playing League of Legends, so I never had a chance on it. So I think it was only in lockdown that I had a few years break from gaming, and then in lockdown I was taking over my poor fiance's PC, and eventually he's like, listen, why don't you get your own one? And I was like, right, I'm gonna do this. And yeah, since then I haven't stopped. I love it.
So early on, you realized PC was better. So good job there. We get a big thumbs up. And I just can't help but notice.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That the flippin' League spammers are the ones ruining the good time for everybody once again. Because it's just like
I'm telling you, and my brothers even used to switch the Wi-Fi off and shout at me, lag from the other room. It used to be so annoying.
Oh, that's amazing. Are they older than you?
they're younger than me. But the
Oh,
best part about them visiting me now is like, you want to see my setup?
yeah,
I make them so jealous.
and the
I make them
drool is
so
real
jealous.
is gonna,
Yeah,
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 because
yeah,
your
yeah.
PC, I've got to say, among streamers, it's one of the ones that I look at spec wise, and even I go, yo, that's a nice computer. What monitor are you using? Just for my own curiosity.
My gaming monitor, your Wookie, I'm not as clued up as you are. Asus, my fiance is the one that he builds my PCs. He knows everything that's going on here. So it's an Asus something. I'll be able to tell you.
Okay. No, he's done well, because I look at that spec sheet on your thing and I'm like, especially the GPU, I've only got a 4070, I'm like a pleb down here
Still good.
with my little baby graphics card. It's okay. For 1080p gaming, I found that with the new Unreal 5 stuff, it really started to get absolutely wrecked. Because those engines, if they're not well optimized, it's much like an ANC cabinet. It's just a bit of a
Yes,
leech on resources. You know what I mean? So,
definitely.
so okay, you get into PC gaming. You've done. Were you well? Here's where now all of this is leading me to. Were you busy streaming while still working at the salon? Did you already start to kind of cross over into streaming, and what got you started with streaming?
That's actually quite an awesome story. So again, lockdown before I had my own PC. I think we call my Mr. Pixie.
Yes.
I don't know how cool he is with that, but so he put The Witcher on his PC for me, and like I think he checked in with me after about like 7 hours. He's like, "Are you still okay?" And I did like these like rabbit eyes. I was looking at him like, "Yes, leave me alone." And when I got my own PC, and he realized how much I loved it. I think the one day he was out for the day, and I downloaded Apex Legends, and I was like, "Oh my word, shooters are so much fun." I just ended up spending every moment that I could, and eventually he said to me, "Why did download Twitch? Why don't you start streaming?" I was like, "No way, like, like I'm too shy for that." And he's like, "No, but just try it, man. You're not gonna. There's gonna be like, you'll be fine. Maybe you can make money." And that's how it started. I think on the first day I went live, he had to help me with everything. He did my set. Now these things I can do them myself now, but he used to sit next to me every follow that came in. He was like, "Yeah, like it was so
What
exciting
a
when I
wonderful
hit like my
cheerleader.
first 50 and got affiliates and all of that."
Yeah.
And I was working, obviously, going back to work after lockdown. I used to stream in the evenings, and it became so bad that I couldn't wait to finish work at the end of the day. I stopped gymming because I was like, gym it's in stream time, and I couldn't wait to get back to the PC and see this thing grow. And I think when I started playing Diablo, my community really started growing a lot faster. And when I hit partner on Twitch, I don't know, this idea just kind of came up. We actually spoke about moving to another town. Just again, a feeling of I need something in my life to change.
Hmm.
And he asked me, but what would I do with the salon? And I said, well, I think I would actually try streaming full time then. And we ended up never moving. And just with all the stress from having a business, etc., and dealing with staff, eventually he actually just said to me, well, why don't you just sell the business, start streaming? We don't have to move anywhere for you to do that.
Hmm.
And it's like a little, like the ball dropped, and that's the next day I went to work and said to them, listen, I'm eating.
Chaile, I'm going. I'm out of
So
here.
Klana, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it's a very daunting thing. Having gone
Yeah.
through it myself with saving money while working to launch a business,
Yeah.
in a creative space. I think the way you did it is a lot better, I'll say, than the way I did it. I sort of just had nothing and ripped the band-aid and jumped in full time.
That's another way to do it.
It wasn't a good way. I'm not suggesting that anybody does it that way around, to be very clear. I think it's much better to start doing something and have it be kind of progressive like that.
Yeah.
And so you were already partner before you went full time, is
Yes,
basically what
yes.
you're saying as well,
Yes.
which is a
And
crazy
also I think
achievement
it's
for South Africa. Like,
yeah, it's a tough one, and I mean anyone that streams knows like your viewership. It's not something that goes up over time. It's very up and down. It's so dependent on the time of the year. It's dependent on what you're playing. So it's it's got its own stresses.
Yes. Now I've seen that, like when KCD2 came out as an example, there was
Mm,
like a real boom on that because there was so much interest in the game from like
definitely.
people that were RPG players.
Yes.
And you've got to kind of hit those trends a lot, sort of thing. But
Mm.
what is your favorite game? What's your absolute favorite?
My absolute favorite game, and the weird thing is that I don't play this game on stream because I can't follow the story. I'm on my third playthrough of Baldur's Gate at the moment, Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game, and I
Okay.
think it's the most replayable game ever. FPS, if I had to pick one game for the rest of my life, I love Apex Legends. And recently I finished Last of Us as well, so that's more of a,
My heart, my
Are you
soul.
okay?
I hate Apex so much. I can't even tell you how much I hate Apex. It's just that
Hashtag get good.
no, you know what it was? When I started, I had really rubbish internet. I was on LTE, and the way
Yeah.
that that thing sends data with the 20 tick rate that Apex has, and
Mm.
coming from 128 tick Counter Strike, where I'm used to, and it's so different because like Apex is kind of bullet soak. You got to shoot like the dude a lot, where CS is just
Mm.
like that one tap headshot,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of mechanic. I just could not get into it, and I know it's crazy because in South Africa we actually have a really big following for Apex. It's like it is a
Yeah.
really popular game. I think COD took away from that quite a bit, especially when we got local servers.
Yeah. Mm.
It definitely dented that. I just the you know what ultimately it is about Apex that hurts my brain and my soul is as you shoot a bullet, it sort of
Yeah.
dips. It does. The tracer shows that it's dipping, but it's not dipping. Do you know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
looks like it's dipping. So I inherently try to aim up because I'm like the bullet's dropping, but it's not actually dropping. It's like it's deceptive.
The bullet is frustrating you.
Yes, the whole experience, and it's funny. My one friend that was a pro for Overwatch, was super good at it because it had the same gun mechanics from Titanfall. Actually, that's where
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
the stuff came through from. So, and I've run a tournament for Apex and stuff, and the community was great. It was a lot of fun, as a tournament, and very interesting with all of the our finals was crazy because we had 4 people on match point, and I had set it so that they have to win the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
drop to win, and there was 4 teams on match point. Like
Oh my
at
good,
the
that's
on the
chaos.
last drop, it was
Chaos.
chaos. No, it was mental. So and BR and me just don't agree. I'm more of a prepare and attack kind of guy, which is why I went for Tarkov. Have you ever played
Yeah.
an extraction shooter?
Listen, my friend, like I know that there is I think anyone that's good at Tarkov would do so well at streaming because there aren't a lot of people that play it. I thought it was going to be clever and try it once. I actually took over Mr. Pixie's his account to
Yes.
try and before I buy it. Ach nee, I like to know how I died and that nee, but I take my hat off for anyone that can play that game that's patient enough for that. Like nee.
Yeah, I've got 4,500 hours in Tarkov, but that's beside the point. Okay.
Wow.
Um,
GG.
Yeah, no, so I also came from that kind of background because I loved games like Stalker. When
Yeah,
Stalker 2 came out, it's the first single player
that was
game
a good game.
I pumped 100 hours into it. I went full completionist on the hardest difficulty kind of
Oh
thing.
wow.
I killed I think of the you know the oh, what's their name again? The mutant with the big dude with the 2 legs.
Yeah, yeah.
I killed like I think all but one in the whole game, and I killed all of the chimeras but one in the whole
Yeah.
game. I killed every single controller on the map, every single
My word.
burrow. I got every single weapon pretty much in the game. I got 3 diamond exoskeletons. One was fully upgraded and stuff. I went hard completionist because that's what I grew up on was Half-Life
Yes.
2, and that's where I got started in the enjoyment of those things. Obviously, Counter Strike and stuff. So this begs the question: when are you going to play the real multiplayer shooter in Counter Strike 2? It actually isn't bad now. Like I
Look,
can
I'm
even
I'm not
vouch
I'm
for it
not
a bit.
close to trying anything. I'm not close to trying anything like that. It's just I think I go back to something that's I tend to go back to Apex because it's comfortable and I know it. And also it's weird because my channel started out on FPS only. But unfortunately, that's not where I saw my growth. Just because FPS, we all know how saturated it is, and you need to
Yes.
be really good to get a viewership out of that.
Yes.
And I'm not terrible. I'm like, I would say I'm just above average. So unfortunately, I see my growth with like new releases, MMOs, RPGs, etc. So it's sad because I love FPS, but
Mm.
this is my business now, so I need to think about the numbers in the end of the day. But I'm definitely not close to trying, or I would try another shooter. So you say, what was it?
Counter-Strike 2, because the
Oh,
thing was,
Counter-Strike 2.
yeah, so CS, I mean, it's a 20-year-old game.
Making
It's
a
got a
note.
huge amount of
Yeah.
history and stuff in it. And I've been, well, actually, actually, I just realized much older than that, because I've been playing it for 23 years. When I got my first
Oh
PC
wow.
at 13, and I could only play against bots because internet was a fever dream in South Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I now it's finally back to something. There's a lot of cheating, unfortunately. Valve really needs to
Mm.
get that. Valve, please fix your anti-cheat, so that's not an embarrassment. But the game itself is actually good now, so that's nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so yeah, and it's just such an exciting time for Counter Strike. But yeah, anyway,
I'll give it
as
a go.
far
I'll
as
give you feedback.
are you a weeb at all? Do you do anime?
I don't really do anime, but anything else nerd related, yeah, kind of. One of my friends has been trying to get me into anime for the longest time, but between the gaming and reading, it's like there's not enough hours in a day.
Okay, so you're a reader. So you do
I love reading.
novels, murder mystery. That's probably your vibe, right? It's a good call.
So I started with I used to take off school to, well, pretend that I'm sick to read Harry Potter at home. So that's really where
Mischief
that's really where
managed.
it started. When you don't even get out of bed, it's disgusting. I didn't brush your teeth, go make coffee, read, more coffee, read. I don't know how I did it, but I used to love Harry Potter. After that, I was really taken by the Lord of the Rings series and all of those, so I enjoyed that. After that, I did a lot of like self-improvement type of books, but these days my friends have gotten me into the romantasy, and it's like you can't stop reading.
So it's like what's a pleasure island in a book, basically.
Whenever we walk past that aisle in the bookshop, my fiance makes a very good point to say out loudly, "There's your smut aisle." I'm like, don't say that so loud.
But look, if you've got patience to read Tolkien, that just his descriptions. I don't think people understand how long they go on for. They're very vivid and
Listen, yes, it,
detailed.
it, it was like every bush you walk past, every plant on the ground, you hear about it. But I'm actually busy. One of my viewers actually gifted me a book set of The Wheel of Time, and apparently a lot of Tolkien and J.R.R. Martin, they got a lot of inspiration from the Wheel of Time authors. So I'm pretty excited. I'm on the first book now, so.
Well, if I could prescribe you anything, it would be to read the original Frank Herbert's Dune. I don't know if you've seen those movies, but the books
Yeah, I
are
actually saw
apparently
the
really
book set
good.
in the shop. Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another recommendation. Let's go.
So only the ones he wrote, though. His son tried to carry on and he couldn't quite capture the style, from what I
Mm.
understand. But the ones that he wrote were like so good. That's why they've tried to make so many films, because they did ones back in the day, but they were hilariously 80s clunky sort of like setup. The
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
tried, but it came out very wacky. Okay, so you're a reader. Um, self-help books. Uh, just kind of lead me back to what do you like about um sort of the creative process about being a streamer?
Ooh, I think what I enjoy about it the most, if I had to compare it to my previous job, is that there's always room for growth. There, I kind of felt stunted. Where now, I don't know, learning how to edit, I've learned more about computers. Like, obviously, I'm nowhere near on your level, but I've learned how to do things. It's a constant learning curve. So I think that's one of my favorite things, and it's something where you get daily results or anything. I know it might sound weird, but every time I upload a video or my stream starts doing well, it's like the most exciting thing for me at the end of the day to go and check my analytics, and so I really enjoy that. And obviously, I've just built up such an amazing community over the years now. It's really some really selfless, amazing people that are just willing to help you. I mean, you don't really find that in real life all the time. Also, people that
Hmm.
are that I can relate to, because I mean, the average woman my age doesn't really know what. They don't all play games. They don't. They're not into the same type of things that I'm into. So it's just really finding your people. So that's been like definitely the little cherry on top for me.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird and wonderful thing that people don't understand is that you're actually really interconnected because you can just jump on a Discord server like we are now and just have
Yes,
a
yeah,
chat with your mate and be like, dude, I saw this new thing. Like for me at the moment, we playing Borderlands 2. And
yeah,
my one mate, my oldest my oldest friend, we've been friends since 11 years old. He's been very
yeah,
patient. The man deserves an award. He hasn't smothered me with a pillow in 25 years. But when Borderlands came out, it was exactly
yeah,
what we wanted. The kind of skill cap of a shooter mixed with the loot grind of Diablo, because
yeah,
we loved both of those titles like a lot.
yeah,
So it was this wonderful meld. And then it went free now recently, and he grabbed a copy because Borderlands 4 launch and all the hype and everything leading
yeah,
up
yeah.
to it. And we like level 48 now in like a week. So it's
Wow.
like just like it and just sitting on Discord jamming together just took me back to landing at his house. I would go there for like 2 weeks at a time, and my mom would come and drop off
Amazing.
clothing and pick it up, kind of thing, and have
Yeah.
tea with his mom, and then go shuttle off home, and we go and play,
There we
Borderlands
are.
and
Like,
stuff. So yeah, it's just this. And landing, well, that's the thing. Have you ever been to a really big LAN?
actually, no, I haven't. But we've got this like little PC place in PE. I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore. But before we had all a PC per child in the house, my brothers used to love going to that, and they went to a lot of LAN. So my parents used to drop them off there for the day. But no, actually, I've never been to a LAN. No.
That's
There
kind
was a
of
space in
heartbreaking
my
for
life
me.
where there was like a space in my life because obviously the brothers took over the PC, where I didn't game at all. So it's pretty sad. I missed out. I wish I started earlier.
So what you're saying is we need to make a plan to get you and the hubby up to come and do a LAN like with 2,000 people in Johannesburg at some point.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
It's
Yes, I think I need
so
to do that. I need to tick that off my wish list.
I will give you fair warning.
Yeah.
About 20 or 30% of the brethren at the LAN are not known for good hygiene. There is a little
It's
bit of
okay.
a
I've got two
BO.
younger brothers.
Yeah,
I've got two younger
okay, that's fair.
brothers.
And they probably
Healthy
did they
little
play
things.
rugby as well?
Oh wow. No, they didn't play rugby.
What
Only when they were in like primary school. No, the League of Legends took over that
Wow,
house.
they
Eh? I'm
just
not.
didn't
I'm
even
not.
play sport. That's very,
No.
very rare, especially for Afrikaanse bras. That's I'm kind of disappointed with them in a way. Because it's funny because sport
But
actually
now that
leads
they're older,
into
they've
gaming.
started running and all of that. Thank
Okay,
goodness they're doing something about the fitness.
okay,
But yeah.
okay. But yeah, it's funny because the sport, like, I don't know if you know about Fatality. He was like the most successful pro gamer of all time kind of dude,
Yeah.
and he was also on the US pro tennis team. And they
Oh
they
yeah.
they feed each other because that's why it's so good that you being active with CrossFit and stuff, because it actually feeds your gaming skill, because
Your
it
reaction
trains
time.
exactly, and
That's
it's just good for your general health, if especially when we're sitting in front of PCs all day.
yeah.
What would you say is the thing that you find like your least favorite thing about streaming? If you could like overnight take away this portion of any layer, in streaming, what would it be?
It's very sad to say, but since my channel on my channel on my YouTube channel is growing quite fast, but just on online bullying, like I like I don't I could take it, I could make videos on it, whatever, but I've been dealing with some cyber bullies lately, like one or two bad ones. So I would say that for me, it's a weird thing. People think that if they're in your chat every day or when they give, they're kind of entitled to your attention,
Mm.
and whereas they should be paying me for the content that I'm putting out, and it's just yeah, it's taken an ugly turn. It's taken a really ugly turn.
I'm
So
really sad
that's
to hear
one
that.
thing. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think a lot of females streamers deal with that. I think maybe males as well. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we deal with it in a very different way. So I was
Mm,
actually discussing this with someone the other day. Like, I mean, I stood at the front of one of the, you could say, most disliked companies for a very, very long time. I've
mm,
had people while I'm on MC at Comic Con screaming at me because of something the company did, like as if
Oh
I
my word.
personally
Yeah.
have anything to do with that. But I think that's when you make yourself a representative of a business, that's just you kind of got to take all the
Mm.
everything with it.
Yes.
And not to say that they weren't a great partner for a very long time. I benefited massively. I've had a ton
Yes.
of work, a ton of PCs, and equipment and everything like that. I've been really well looked after in those facets, but
Yeah.
that kind of comes with it. And I think,
Yes.
especially with the ladies in the environment, is people think of you as a soft target. Like if someone
Mm.
comes and tries to chirp me, they're gonna come with second best. One, because I've trained my Beck to be, that kind of destructive force
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
need it to be, to kind of, hey man,
Yeah.
come, you want to talk rubbish? Okay, I'm the king of talking rubbish. Fine, come at me. And I'm sort of,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I work with an electronically adjustable desk, so people assume that I'm short, and then they meet me in real life, and then they're like, oh damn, and
Oops.
I'm busy chirping this guy, and I'm not even like that. I'm not an aggressive
Yeah.
person physically at
Yeah.
all, but there is sort of this kind of idea of like mutually assured destruction, or like madness
Mm.
as we call it, between
Mm.
men that doesn't extend to the women, and then they
Mm.
think of you as like a soft target. Honestly, that's
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
feeling on it. I've seen it like with Bundle Bunny as well. I mean, and
Mm.
they say way more rancid, hectic things when she was
Yes.
streaming compared to when I was streaming, and I'm like, you guys are cowards, though. You're literally going
Yeah.
after like the soft target, as it
Yeah.
were. But what they
But
don't
there's
know
it's yeah.
is the Burmese knows how to use a blade.
Go on, yeah, guys. Go on, yeah. There's so many things I wish I could say to them online, but I'm trying to stay like classy. You know what I mean? So it's difficult sometimes when you really like. I've got the words lined up in my mind, but it's not necessarily just online. It's like in messages and threats, and it's actually it's insane. Like
Oh, that's
um,
wild, though.
you always hear about these things, but when it happens to you, like what in the actual? It's insane.
No, yeah,
But yeah,
I've seen it a lot, and especially I think the more kind of sweet and gentle your demeanor, the more, and it's just from our side, I'll just say it stems from a jealousy. People are like, oh, you're not deserving in this, but they haven't seen. I mean, how long have you been streaming now in total?
three years.
3 years, and you've been full time for
A year now.
a full year, full time. It's
Yeah.
to get up every single day, to put on a smile and try and be energetic with your audience every single day. It's a with a demanding audience that's like that. I know exactly what you mean. It's something that it's why I don't generally stream. I much prefer to be a YouTuber because it's post-production content. I get to control
Yeah.
what's going out there all the time, which is a big plus.
Yes.
It's all also premeditated. Live is difficult. It's a really,
Mm.
really difficult sphere to be in. It's nice when I'm on MC because it's very one-way traffic. They can't really
Yes.
speak to me, and I'm the loudest in the room, and I can just be like, "Hey, you, shut up!" and carrying on like kind of vibe.
I need to watch one of
Yeah,
those.
no,
I'll do
it's
my little emotes in the chat for you,
it's
Barney.
yeah, it's really it is a really difficult thing. The other question that I've been asking to everybody that I've had on is, because I grew up with this LAN culture. I mean, I've admined, I don't know how many LANs. It's somewhere in the low hundreds kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've been to. I basically went to every single Mayhem and Liberty LAN for 12 years. So two a month for 12 years. It's like 240 odd LANs that I went to.
Goodness
It was
gracious.
everything because pre-internet, it was the only way we could get real multiplayer
Yes,
going
yes.
and stuff. So what I've experienced in that environment was a culture of, oh, hey, you play the game, I play the game, let's go play the game. Let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
just have fun. And the over competitive nature that we find in esports South Africa today, it's, I think, something that's we are so blessed to have so many good youngsters, guys in their early 20s now, that have seen the faults in that and have realized,
Yeah.
I'm going to chirp this guy, but I might end up being in a team with him a year down the line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's be friends. We don't
Yes.
have to be best mates. We don't have to live on top of each other.
Tolerate.
Let's just be kind of cordial, and kind of just
Mm,
sort of thing. And what I see that's becoming pervasive now, and really, like, I think a huge destructive force is identity politics, which we know
mm,
has a huge history in South Africa.
mm.
As it is, it's a very difficult topic to kind of deal with. But I just wanted to get your thought on its practice in South Africa, and especially in the gaming sphere, like, kind of, are we not all just gamers at the end of the day?
Mm, mm.
Like,
No, yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. And in the end of the day, I don't like the idea of like, I don't think I'm more privileged for like, look, I've worked for everything that I have. I mean, from my business, everything. So I'm just a firm believer of everyone just working on improving themselves and being happy for others. Let's just, yeah, we're all gamers. We're all in this together. Why? Let's get the South African, how can I say, community on the map. You know what I mean? Instead of
yes.
fighting amongst each other. But that's something I'm very. I also trade around it very carefully, just because of a lot of drama that's been going on in the South African, how can I say, community before. So I tend to steer clear of those type of things because I'm a lover of humans. All of them, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just so sort of like sad because, like,
Mm,
I like Snare. I've been mates with him, I don't know how long, and shame, he almost gave up on it because
yeah.
he was being sidelined because of a consequence of his birth. Really, nothing, because not because of anything he had done as a
Yes.
person. And then what a blessing to go and do Dota TR and be
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that sort of stage and stuff. And I'm just like,
Mm.
let's just deal with, like, talent. Like, if a person's talented or
That's
whatever,
exactly it.
put them on. If they're not there and they're not putting in effort, and even if they are talented, they've still got to polish that thing. They've still got
Definitely.
to turn it into something,
Let
kind
let's
of
let's
thing.
get back to rewarding hard work.
Yes, and not just
Hard
consequence of
work.
birth. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, I agree
I
with that
hate that so
100%.
much. I think it's just such a good way to keep us fighting, so that the real kind of like problem children, aka our politicians, can get away with murder in the background. That's really what's been
Definitely.
going on. I mean,
Look, in the end of the day, there's so much that's out of our control. There's so much that's not under our control. So we can choose to be angry about it, or we can try and work harder.
mm,
So I think consistency and hard work is, in the end of the day, I mean, every self-help book, anything that you read, self-improvement, it all points to that in the end of the day. And I think for anyone to feel that they are owed something because of how they were born, or somebody not being owed something, let's just, I think the world would be a better place if everyone just got what they deserved, and if we all worked for, let's get that sense of achievement from working hard. That's something that I love, working hard, and I love my career growing because of that. So
yeah,
it
I
is
think
frustrating, but
participation medals are rough. A rough concept as well. It's just like, it's good to encourage effort and stuff, but it's also,
mm,
you have to reward excellence. It can't just be like,
definitely.
oh, you showed up. Like, I think Idols is a great example of that. They just sprung to
Yeah.
mind. Like, cool, you went to an audition for Idols, but did you sing like a cat being sucked up by a vacuum cleaner? You know what I mean? Like, then
Exactly.
that's the reality. And I just think it's so sad, because we have an opportunity, like you've said, I think, to let everybody shine together is something that we
Yes.
do badly here in South Africa,
Mm,
particularly
mm,
because of this jealousy sort of vibe that's around. And yeah, it's just kind of sad, because it was never a thing. You don't understand how much it was
mm.
never it was not a thing until like 3 years ago. It didn't exist
Yeah,
in
yeah.
gaming, kind of thing. And,
I've
well, no,
heard
maybe
about
a
these
bit
things.
longer, but
Mm,
yeah, then, like, we had, just as an example, Dota 2 had the biggest following in South Africa. It had 17,000 on a single page on Facebook
Oh
for the
wow.
Dota 2 stuff. And then
Yeah.
all these kind of witch hunts for players started happening and stuff. Kind of like the Oaks had done and said stupid things. Don't get me wrong;
Yeah,
they hadn't
yeah.
behaved as they should have, but there was never ever any area of forgiveness. It's just this condemnation of you made a mistake, stuff you, kind of like that's
Mm.
that sort of written off vibe, and I'm just like,
How
no,
dare you
guys.
be human?
Yeah, and if it's a case of like, it's different if it's premeditated. If you like
Mm.
people going out of the way to bully you is a great example. That I
Yeah.
think deserves a very different measure of sort of discipline and reaction compared to someone that swears at someone in a moment of
Yeah.
like a heated gameplay or something like that.
Yeah.
That's sort of
Yeah.
a very different platitude, at least for me. I think
Yeah.
if you're literally going and making accounts to go out of your way to troll someone, that's like desperate, bro. That's a bit on a
It's
different
happened to
level.
me. It's
Yes.
happened to me.
Don't worry, it's fine. Now I'll be there in the chat to give extra judo chops along with it.
YouTube vertical chat, to be specific.
Oh, is it YouTube?
It's
Okay,
wild. Wild.
I'll check it out. If, as a sort of last question, I wanted to ask you, what would you really hope to achieve for yourself, kind of in the gaming community, and what would you really like to see like built up in the gaming community? Like, what would you really like to see happen for like the gaming community at large and for yourself?
I think for the gaming community at large, I would really like it if, as a South African streamer, so look, I'm more in the streaming industry than I am in the competitive gaming industry at the moment. So for that, I'd really just like to see more of us like kind of get onto the map and get recognized a bit. Get Look, it's a tough thing on Twitch for us because of our hours that we have here, etc. So that in the gaming community, I would love to see happen. I would like to see more people in South Africa be on Twitch as well. Gamers in general. So many people that I tell I'm a Twitch streamer, they don't even know what it is.
Mm.
They think I've got an OnlyFans. It's the first thing that they think that is. But anyway, I'm like, no,
Nice.
that's not what I do. And then for myself, honestly, at the moment, I'm just working on getting my average viewership up more stable in the sense that it wouldn't matter what I play. So that would be one of my things I would really like to, in the future. One of my big dreams is to become a Twitch ambassador. And I think I would be the first one in South Africa. I'm not aware of any other Twitch ambassadors in South Africa. And then I think any other streamers dream just getting signed up with a big company in the end of the day that I can represent, which is also tough in South Africa because yeah, it's the competition is tough stuff.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah.
that there's a very limited amount of slots for that and a very
Mm,
limited amount of investment, which is just down to, the biggest problem is we have a issue of traffic from within South Africa.
mm,
I built with Eve Tech, we built a channel that was specifically directed at South Africans,
mm,
and they were still our top viewership number, but it
mm,
was like still a constant battle. I mean, I'm like, come in there, and I'm like, bro, I can get you, hundreds of thousands of views on your product by South
mm.
Africans and stuff, and they still like, meh, not good enough. Like your Facebook only has like 4,200 followers, and I'm like, why is my stuff being used as the benchmark when this is where the content is going? I don't even
Oh,
like, it was
okay.
stupid. It's like, it's unfortunate. I think we have
I
a
feel like there's not really a good understanding a lot of the
yes,
times.
yes,
There's not a good understanding of how the different platforms work. Because I mean, YouTube's completely different to TikTok. Like my followers on Instagram are gonna have no effect on my viewership on something that I put on YouTube, which I think is
yes.
what you're referring to.
Yeah, it's part and parcel, but it's also the people, sort of a lot of the oaks that are managing brands in South Africa. Like, I know a few that are really good because they themselves are gamers. The one guy
Mm,
is so good. He builds his PC, he built his PC into a desk that he designed himself, and he full custom loop water cooled it and stuff like that. He's
Oh.
a proper gaming nerd. He understands his role, and he works for a major brand. He's excellent with that sort of stuff. And then I see guys on the other side where they're like, you can't criticize my product at all because I'm submitting it for review. And I'm like, yes, but that's a review, bro. If this thing has a bad switch in this keyboard, I'm going to be like, it's a bad switch in the keyboard.
Exactly.
And then hilariously, homies stopped that. They gave me absolute uphill, and then they stopped producing that switch like 8 months later. And I'm like,
I told you.
like, dude, please, just work with me here. I'm not saying the whole thing is bad. It's just replace the switch.
Trying to help
like,
you.
anyway.
Shame.
So yeah,
You
I think
were
it's
just being honest.
yeah, and it's I think we just have a, because we got so late onto the internet and so late onto Twitch, and so we're very like late adopters with tech in South Africa, which is a bit of a problem in of itself, right? That just kind of had a knock-on effect. But hey, we're here. We got fiber.
We're fighting.
We've got electricity most of the time now. Look at
Touch
that.
wood.
Touch wood, like touch wood.
Yeah.
But we are here. Yeah, and it's been so much fun just to chat to you. This is your chance to do a shameless plug. Tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, thank you so much. So I stream over on Twitch and I stream over on YouTube at the same time. It's ParanoidPixi. The last E is the 3.
Yeah,
That's me.
we did the lead speak chat for Rico One Elza, who's gonna die later inside when he sees this.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that's it from us. Thank you so much. I will link all of Pixi's various socials in the comments down below, and definitely go check out, especially with the RPG games. I can tell you it's actually very, very funny because nofilter.com.org.za over here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye bye, Wookie.